The President, Dr. Masisi, was auctioned and bought for 350,000 pula at the BDP fundraising dinner held last night in Gaborone. The ball was used by President Masisi during the BDP Golf Challenge, an activity aimed at raising funds for the upcoming general elections, a clear indication of the trust and support the BDP has earned in the business community over the years. Speaking at the fundraising dinner, President Masisi thanked the business community for its participation on the fundraising activities for the day, noting that their support will give the BDP mileage in the upcoming elections. Tlotla Matlabapiri reports.
In a mission to consolidate its stay in power in the upcoming 13th general elections, the Botswana Democratic Party is actively raising funds for its campaign, which requires substantial resources to cover 61 constituencies. One of the major fundraising activity is the 2024 BDP Golf Day and Dinner, which brought together the business community, friends and well-wishers of the party.
Our legitimate authority to govern indicates the immense confidence Botswana repose on the mighty red machine. The party thrives on participatory democracy, inclusivity, and the rule of law. We are privileged to have men and women across the country who work tirelessly to ensure that the party is a well-oiled machine, not forgetting our youth, our beloved friends, all our well-wishers, and the business community who have come in numbers to support this fundraising endeavor. I'm humbled by your good gesture, and the BDP will forever be indebted to you for your great support. This is going to be my last election, and I pledge to my Central Committee and all members of the party, I'm going to have massive fun, and I'm going to give you the very best that's in me, and I have not yet given it. I take a part.
The party used the event to not only raise funds, but also to promote its ideals, aiming to expand its influence as a political force and reintroduce its leader.
And with 61 constituencies, and we target all of them, then we are sure that we will have a man who has led this country with passion, who has led this country with a vision that unparalleled, a man who has fought COVID-19, but he knew where he was taking this nation. He's a man who is daring, the president. He chose, of all things he could do, as if that is not enough, because he's a president for every part of this society, from the business community to sports and recreation to the ordinary citizen in our various villages.
President Masisi assured the Democrats and the business community that government is committed to adhering to the rule of law and strengthening democratic processes. Tlotla Matlabapiri, BTV News, Gaborone.
President Dr. Masisi and the First Lady led the nation at the inaugural Hika Cultural Festival in Moshopa this morning. The President remarked that growing the economy using culture and heritage is an opportunity that has been left untapped for too long, urging the nation to uncover the impact of cultural activities on economic development. Now, moving on the sidelines of the 70th edition of the International Council for Game and Wildlife Conservation, CIC, General Assembly in Cascais, Portugal, Botswana Television spoke to several professionals and experts in the business of conservation, wildlife and biodiversity, who spoke highly of Botswana's remarkable conservation efforts. They say Europe ought to learn from African countries such as Botswana, who have a sustainable and evidence-based track record which speaks to good wildlife conservation practices and should therefore not be dictated to by European states on how to manage their wildlife. Utsile Nkabetsi reports.
The CIC is renowned globally for its strength in numbers, having a membership of over 85 member states, and also boasts expertise and partnerships which have all been instrumental to furthering the great work of sustainability and wildlife conservation. Experts hold that African countries like Botswana have a notable sustainable conservation blueprint which European countries should learn from and should not have to be told how to go about their own wildlife management practices.
What the European countries do is talking about Africa without knowing anything. They don't talk to you. They talk to the European-based NGOs, which are driven by ideology, which are against killing animals, which are against using animals. And it's very important that the politicians in Europe talk to their colleagues down there in Africa, exchange their experiences and ideas, that the Europeans learn from you. It's not that you have to learn from us. We have to learn from you. You show best practices, how to manage wildlife in a sustainable way. So I'm totally against all these initiatives in Europe to say hunting per se or hunting in Africa or importing trophies is something which we don't like, which we have to forbid.
Humanity is facing two intertwined crises. The first is climate change, and the second is the loss of species. Countries like Botswana have been leading the way in addressing these crises through their habitat conservation programs and their wildlife conservation programs. And what we really need in countries like the United States is evidence-based policy. And the way that we're going to get evidence-based policy is for decision makers to speak to scientists and to speak to their counterparts in Botswana and elsewhere to find out what is actually working for wildlife and ecosystems across the world. In this case, trophy hunting has a proven effectiveness at conserving both habitat and wildlife in a way that also supports human livelihoods.
Tanzania, like Botswana, faces a growing human-wildlife conflict challenge, which would only be worsened by the enactment of laws which hinder trophy hunting.
Tanzania has an increasing human-wildlife conflict problem. Statistics have shown that in a 4-year period, 240 people were killed by elephant alone. These misinformation campaigns are very effective in convincing the masses of Western society, the people, that hunting is an evil thing rather than presenting hunting as a conservation tool.
Having expressed its intention to rejoin the CIC, Botswana will be among the over 85 member states who will establish sustainable partnerships with the CIC and further its sustainable wildlife conservation and biodiversity priorities. Utsidile Ongabetse, BTV News, Kashkish, Portugal.
Now coming back home, the government, through the Chema Chema Fund, popularly known as Mokokolosa, has gone an extra mile, demonstrating commitment to empower citizens and facilitate them to play a meaningful role in driving the economy. This was emphasized at the Khotla meetings convened by the Assistant Minister of Trade and Industry, Ms. Beauty Manake, in Silibepikwe. Karabo Murusi reports.
The Chema Chema Fund comes at an opportune time in Silibepikwe when large investments and developments are emerging. The fund presents an opportunity for the much-needed growth in the informal sector, which has been a cornerstone of the economy for some time, boasting over 2,000 businesses.
Lona le khatlhego lona le maikaelelo a go leka go itsosa mme le lona lo ba tsaya karolo lwa go re neela dikgang gore ga le tlhaloganye le kopana le mathata
tota jaanong re bua ka matshelo a rona re se ka ra lebelela thata gore mang o kare ke sepolotiki kana ya be simolotse domokeraga ke bua e le sekae o ikakanye pele o itheeletse pele o ye go ipoletsa pele. To
ensure that the residents of Silibepikwe do not miss on this opportunity, the implementing organizations, with the support of the town leadership, are hard at work providing public education and guidance.
Yaanong re lekeng gore le nnem pelo telele le rona ha re le thusa gore a re direng jana mo kgwebong re se ka ra batla go ya go tsaya madi ka pela Chema Chema e tsile go nna ke program e leng gore ra go bona re thabolla dikgwebo tse di potana segolo jang tsone tsa informal sector tse di sa kwadisiwang
a re buisaneng ke gore re se ka ra iphitlhela re dira selo se le sengwe la re le thea a re buisaneng re direng di-business tse di neelanang gore se ka batho ka ba berekang ko go wena a re tseng thuto e maleba go ba maleba.
The interactions during Khotla meetings also provided a platform for feedback from the community to the implementers to iron out issues raised and clear any misconceptions. Karabo Molusi, BTV News, Mopipi.
Meanwhile, residents of Bitsem village spent the day at their Khotla to gain first-hand information from the Minister of Entrepreneurship, Mr. Karabo about the Chema Chema Fund. Minister Khare says the fund is an effort to ensure that every Motswana benefits from each and every scheme meant to better their lives. Tato Rana.
Affording people living in rural areas access to government initiatives like Chema Chema Fund is a welcome gesture that offers residents equal opportunities to advance their lives just like any other Botswana in other parts of the country. This is envisaged to be possible as residents could always visit offices for stakeholders working with government in providing services for these developmental programs in their areas.
Ha ke batla re Chema Chema le mmale mo TV he la itse gore ntse ke ne ke le ko Maun ke ne ka Charles Hill ke ne ka Mabule ke ne ke le ko Mogoditshane le ba bangwe ntse ke a go bona ba re ke bona go tshwana mo tutle mo councilor la gore le ba pitseng ke togele ba gana le bona mme ke senosi ke tle ka sengwe le sengwe se eleng gore ba bana le kgatlhego le keletso go apply ya go kopa Chema Chema e ba tsenya maina gompeko
ko leya re kopa gore le kokote teng pele le tla go ikwadisa ga o sena go ikwadisa ko leya o fetsa tsotlhe tsa ikwadiso re tla be re go isa ko sida ko sida o tla ba go ikopela madi re na le gore yaanong re na le go etsaetsega batho ba bangwe ba ile gore re heditse go ba kwadisa be re ba bola re ba hamolaetsa re ba rare ga o batla o ka ikwadisa o ka go ikopela ko sida yaanong ba santse ba eme ga re itse gore ba emisitswe keng
re le Batswana re tshwanetse go ithuta gore ne re ha re bua puo re utlwa re reetsa moropo wa yone gore o tsamaela kae ka gore nako tse dintsi ya tere ha re kgwa dikgaba ene ke tere ralla sekgwa yaanong re bua hela tse di skeng di buiwe.
Residents have expressed gratitude towards this opportunity.
Ne ke eletsa gore ke kope madi le nna Chema Chema ke go tsweledisa semous sa ka gore ke kile ka re ka itika gawa yaanong ne ke ka itumela ha nne ke atlega ya re ke ntse ke dira ka atlega gape ke na le ke itumetse thata go monate gompieko mo motseng wa rona re tliseditse ditlamelo
kana ha go iwa dinepeng ba go lwa ba tla go tsamaya mme ba palwe ke bokgakala jwa go akanya yaanong ke bona gompieno ba go ratile thata le sa bobedi ke gore baeng ha ba tsile ba se ka ba lebala Pitseng go nne le sengwe se ba gopolang Pitseng ka sone mme go ya pele tota ke eletsa go gatolosa ka yone Chema Chema
tautona ha bua le ko sitrasing a ke ne le lebala mo TV na tlhalosa gore le tlhabile o reng rana me le tlhabile ke kopa le rana me.
Residents were implored to take advantage of other government programs geared towards developing their lives like Temo Letlotlo. Tatorana, BTV News, Bitseng.
The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Lands and Water Affairs, Dr. Kikwane Baipoledi, says Botswana, Namibia and South Africa are making strides in establishing a Women in Water Development Network in Southern Africa. This program seeks to enhance the involvement of women in decision-making regarding the development of and management of the water resources of the Orange Senkyu River Basin. Dr. Baipoledi revealed this at a regional validation workshop of the guiding framework for this proposed Women in Water Diplomacy Network in Gaborone on Thursday. Solofelo Tombale compiled this one.
The Orange Senkyu River Commission, or ASECOM, which is comprised of the countries of Botswana, Lesotho, Namibia and South Africa, is engaged in setting up a Women in Water Diplomacy Network to give women in those states greater leadership in negotiating cooperation in the use of the waters of the Orange Senkyu Basin. At a regional validation workshop, it was emphasized that women are underrepresented in political decision-making at the transboundary level.
We do this work, as we all know, to align to the SDGs 5 on achieving the gender equality and empower all women and girls, the Goal 6 on ensuring sustainable water management and for water and sanitation, Goal 17 on strengthening the means of implementation and revitalization of a global and multi-stakeholder partnership.
And as we all know, water is the most limiting factor when it comes to socio-economic growth. Therefore, the aim of this network that we are participating in today is to enhance the collective capacity of women throughout the basin and to support the engagement of women water leaders in decision-making and peace-building processes.
The objectives of the validation workshop on the network's guiding framework were described.
And the regional workshop aims to strengthen the concept of water diplomacy and empower a wide variety of actors that are involved. It is also aiming to bring regional stakeholders to collectively share their experiences as they embark on the establishment of women in water diplomacy in the Orange Senku basin.
We are hoping that through these 2 days we will raise awareness and increase our understanding on water diplomacy, as well as inclusive transboundary water cooperation. And then lastly, and this is what we are going to do tomorrow, will be to validate the draft framework.
This new network follows one developed for the Nile Basin, which has helped advance regional dialogues around the use of those waters, and hopes are high that this network will improve collaboration among the Orange Senku states. Solofala Tombali, BTV News, Gaborone.
The government is sternly committed to fighting the use of illicit drugs in the country. This was said by the Minister of Defence and Security, Mr. Kagiso Musi, during the launch of the National Anti-Drug Campaign in Maun. Maranyani Samakata reports.
The minister says that through the newly established Drug Enforcement Agency under his ministry, the government will combat and eliminate the illicit production and supply of drugs which have impoverished and destroyed many lives. Through DIA, we are going to introduce a good number of sniffer dogs that will help us control the introduction and production of drugs in this country. This is a call for us to unite and work together on how we can address this problem in Maun. This district is among those that have suffered the brutality of drug abuse, which often presents as domestic abuse.
2022, we admitted 341.
In 2022, we admitted 340 patients, of which 327 were male and 14 female. And last year, we had 331 admissions due to drug and substance abuse.
31
There is rampant abuse of the elderly in our homes. These cases are reported as assault, but oftentimes investigations reveal that this was due to substance abuse by the perpetrator. Proper grooming of children could save them from the scourge.
During
our primary school days, we would often be assigned to clean our school premises, and this instilled discipline in us. Botswana, especially the youth, have been encouraged to familiarize themselves with government initiatives that could keep them out of the streets and generate livelihoods for themselves. Maranyani Samakata, BTV News, Maun.
As a way of easing movement between Botswana and Namibia, Namibia collaborated with a natural selection organization in launching the first direct route from Maun-Windhoek to Windhoek. A Namibia representative, Mr. Marco Theron, when launching the route, said the service will begin operating on 3rd of July. Marata Kaisar.
Air Namibian natural selection organizations are among the airlines that use the Namibia-Botswana route, although other routes do not pass through Maun. The new direct Maun-Namibia route is the first of its kind, highlighted as the fastest option compared to routes passing through Cape Town. Additionally, the use of Omang identity document by both countries at the border has facilitated the establishment of these routes.
The idea that we are trying to sell is really to connect Namibia and Botswana. It's two major tourism destinations, and normally if you have clients in Botswana doing a full itinerary, normally they would either go to Victoria Falls or Cape Town as an extension of their trip. But now you will really be able to extend the trip, going to Sossusvlei for 2 or 3 nights, going to the coast, or from the start planning a full itinerary for 2 weeks, to a week in Namibia, to a week in Botswana. And that's really what we want to achieve, to cross market the two countries. Both of them are beautiful countries.
Most people appreciated this movement.
It's a welcome development in Maun. We know Maun as a destination that we always look in having more people visiting Maun as a destination, as well as going into the Delta and going into other surrounding areas to see the cultural and heritage aspect of the destination as well. Also to come and see our gastronomy here. We have tsui, and those who travels want to see what tsui is made of, how it's cooked.
In those 4 countries, and our goal is just to collaborate to develop the tourism product within our destination. This gives you an idea of the extent of the footprint of Africa's heathen. So in Namibia, where FlyNam will be operating from, Botswana, Zimbabwe, and Zambia. And a lot of the focal point is the product within this region here. And it's a wonderful product that we have, the best product, largest estate in terms of the big 5, diversity in terms of the bird life and the ecosystem. And more and more, especially in the post-COVID world, the importance of collaboration has been brought to bear.
Air Namibia will operate flights 7 days a week to tourist destinations of Swakopmund and Etosha East. Marata Kaisara, BTV News, Maun.
You're watching BTV News. Thank you for staying with us. Now moving on, Camp Police Station Commander Superintendent Elias Mahosi says the postmortems of the deceased bodies which were found on Tuesday have been released to their families to continue with the funeral proceedings. The deceased are said to be a man of 25 years and a young girl of 17, both originating from Kang. Nomudungwa reports.
Superintendent Elias Mahosi explained that the parents of the deceased male had reported him missing. Upon arriving at the deceased home, the police were able to open a window and discovered the young man hanging from the roof.
go supagala gore pelaelo ko gore o ka tswa wa rre go gongwe a gapetsiwa mme botshelo ya ba le ena a hela ikgapela botshelo ka eno o tletsa le peletse mo ntlong mo diraftareng a dirisitse terata wa iri.
In the same region, an 18-month toddler was found lifeless in a bucket full of water.
Metsina le mo emereng ya no le ne fela jalo go ra gore o nantsa ana le ba bangwe mo lapeng yaanong morago ga ntse ba ba neng ba na lene ba ba ntse ba tshameka lene ba potologa morago ga ntlo ba itlhelela gore o motega o tsentse tlhogo motega ga emere ga ba le kudisa ba golo mogolo ga ta re o tshwara ngwana o kgela gore wai ngwana ga tsikinyege pego ile one hela jalong le ene le seale ra motsa a ramuisa go ba bongaka me hela le ene ka go tlhoka lesego ya ra tsena kwa ba bongaka ba fetwa rurifatsa gore ga se tlhola le mo botshelong.
The public has been asked to visit social workers or any relevant authorities when they feel overwhelmed. Now, Modungwa, BOTSWANA Television, Kang.
The Ministry of Communications, Knowledge and Technology has commended the Botswana Communications Regulatory Authority for its efforts in promoting digital literacy in schools. This was highlighted by Minister Thulagano Segoko during the handover ceremony of ICT resources at Khosi Primary School in Tlokweng. Refilo Mutube reports.
As it is the government's goal to promote a digital transformation agenda, Minister Segoko has urged students and teachers to safely utilize the 4 computer labs that has been handed over in 4 different schools in Tlokweng, further explaining that this development will encourage students to be open-minded when it comes to the digital learning era.
Re tshwantse gore re hetole lehatshe leno re laage gore itsholelo ya lone e nne itsholelo e ikaegileng ka kitso e nne itsholelo e teletsweng pele ke ba ba ikemetseng ka nosi mme se re tlile go se bona se se diragalang gompieno le lona le kgona go bona gore mosepele o re tla o kgona ga o reeditse bana ba ga o bona ha kitso ya bone e leng teng
tota re tshela mo metlheng ya maranyane mme ebile gore re le Batswana le rona re tsene mo di kgaisanyong kana mo di competition le international world ke gore le one maranyana a rona ba gaetsho bana ba rona le bone ba se ke ba salla go morago selo se tota bokra e se dirileng nna go ya ka nna ke selo se se tona thata ka gone go rotloetsa gore bana ba rona ba itse maranyane e santse ba tlhoga ba le banyenyane.
The 4 labs that have been donated across 4 different schools in Tlokweng have been constructed and equipped with furniture, 30 student computers, internet connectivity as well as smart boards to the cost of 5 million pula.
Nera dumalana re ba bokra le ba Universal Access and Service Fund le ba Ministry wa rona wa Communication le ba local government le ba Ministry of Education gore mo re tshwanetse re go be ko pele mo digital transformation ke bana ba dikolo ne ra simolla ka dikwele tse le gore ne di le kgakajana di sena la ga ile sepe di re bo re tsena la dikwele tse le tsotlhe di le 68 re di tsenya maranyane
re le council ra itlama gore dimpotse le re di nealantse di tla tlhokomela mme ebile gape le rona re ntse re tsweletse ka go seka go bona gore re tokatsa yang dikago tswenetse re tokahatsa jang tse dingwe gape tse leng gore di amana le thuto.
The partnership between the ministry and Bokra is expected to persist as they work closely to advance technology in schools throughout the country. Refilo Mutube, BTV News, Tlokweng.
The Parents Teachers Association chairperson of Ngamasere Primary School, Major Lefedile Andrek, encouraged parents and teachers of Ngamasere Village to work together to help the school maintain its impressive academic results. He said this during a victory party that was organized to celebrate the good performance of last year PSLE students. Tumisa Nkilatilwe reports.
Parents are encouraged to assist teachers instead of leaving all the work to them. Ngamasere Primary School had attained position 3 in the Okavango region when they attained 83.6% from 69%, which has impressed the leaders.
Buruta bana bana le sabaka se dira go tswa ha go ema hale mo gongwe ke ga rona re le botsadi re tshwana ke gore re eme baruta bana nokeng kana go tsotlhe re bo re itse gore bana ba rona tiro ya bone mo sekolo e ntse jang kana go tsotlhe re be re itse gore baruta bana ba rona a ba teng mo sekolong re na le go tsaya bana a re tsaya sekolo tshwana le pagalo sa body re tsa bana di bera go ba lathela go bupagano re be re boarta go nna sa thole na le sepe ka bone gone mo ga go supe go rabo re le batsadi
bana ba dirileng 83.6%. Bana ba itswara hala go standard 6 ba dirile 69%. Mme ba kopana le bo mma bone ba ileng go mma bone le rra bone ba itshwara maroko ba itshwara di holiday ha go te dikolo di tswetswe ba re 69 ga swa batho re batla gore bana ba re ba ise go go.
The top achievers shared some of the ways that helped them to achieve good marks.
I also listened to my teachers attentively when they teach me, and I went to evening studies on Saturdays and Sundays. For me to pass, I read and revised and borrowed revision papers from my teacher. When I grew up, I want to be a doctor.
Pupils who attained A's were 13, B's were 12, and C's were 21. The expectation is for the current candidates to pass more than the previous ones. Dumisang Kelatilwe, BTV News, Ngamasere.
Botswana have been commended for helping the underprivileged, as this is in line with the government's efforts to empower all citizens. This was said by the Palape Land Board Chairman, Jordan Makura, when handing over food hampers to the SOS Children's Home in Francistown. Abigail Madirobo reports.
The SOS, a home for orphaned and vulnerable children, received the food hampers from Palape District Council, demonstrating a spirit of compassion and solidarity with the less fortunate members of society. This gesture not only highlights the commitment to giving back, but also signifies a positive shift in mindset towards community welfare and support for the country's efforts to help the less privileged.
Baeteledipele ba rona ba ruta gore re nne le kutlwelo botlhoko mo go ba bangwe be re ntse re tsweletse go raya gore batswana ba rutegile go raya gore batswana ba utlwa molao wa batsadi ba bone go raya gore batswana ba tshwere molao wa gata utona wa lehasele wa nako ya gompieno ka gore o bua a rera kutlwelo botlhoko.
The donation of the food hampers will undoubtedly make a difference in the lives of the children and caregivers at the SOS village.
Mono motona wa SOS le gone go tlhokomela bana ba e leng gore ga bana tlhokomelo e lekaneng ko malapeng kana bana ba e leng gore ba gomagomediwa gore ba ka latlhegelwa ke tlhokomelo ke bone bana ba e leng gore ba beile ha ra le bone ha re tlhokomelanye le bone
go ta ga lona re le tayana ile gore re na le monyenyo o montsi monyenyo e leng gore o letisitse lerato mo go rona letisitse lerato mo baneng ba rona ba bagano ka gore ke bana ba leng gore ba thokile lesego mme ga ba thoka lesego ka gore re teng re le lona le batswana rotlhe re le teng re bana ba ke ba rona.
Companies were asked to contribute to improving the lives of children in a positive way. Abigail Madorobo, BTV News, Francistown.
Well, that is the news at this hour. To stay with us, and Tebogang Sebetlela is taking you through the world of sport. Tebogang, we meet again. It's your time. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Ulibile Samuka. Now, Botswana Tonight Sports News follows with me, Tebogang Sebetlela. Warriors defeated Troopers by 84 to 83 points last night in the ongoing Botswana Basketball Association League at Baisago in Gaborone. Sahola Membaing and Michelle Sekopo.
Warriors went into the encounter looking for their third win in the league as they kicked off the game on a high note, taking lead of the first quarter by 15 to 6 of Troopers. In the second quarter, Warriors continued their lead although Troopers gave them a challenge as the two teams fought for vital points, but Warriors refused to lose this quarter, bagging a 42-37 finish. The third quarter proved to be a test of strength as Warriors wanted to finish off the game, but Troopers refused, fighting to level matters until the quarter ended with 62-61 before the last fighting quarter, where both teams had a win, but at the end it was Warriors who walked away victorious with 84-83 win over Troopers.
We need to work out on our boxing out. We need to work out on our just ball handling, and most importantly to work on our composure. Basketball is a game of repetition, so the more repetitions we do in the game, the better we'll get. Our motto at our team is that every game we need to improve. Whether it's a win or a loss, but our personal goal as a team is that every game we must improve. So we are bound to improve again for the next game.
Yeah, we got a win, but we nothing race chocolate. That like a bohon, I'll call it a happy because some other games you have to go through every week. Although we knew Troopers like more pacey, so we started telling our boys to work tata but more pacey. Like they know their pace and about pace. If we run faster than the guys and move the ball faster, we are done. So that's what happened.
In another game that was played last night, Dolphins ladies beat Elite 8 by 65-44 points. Sahwalami, buying BTV Sport, Gaborone.
Local motorbike rider Ross Branch says despite finishing 7th at the just-ended BP Ultimate Rally Raid competition in Portugal, he is not discouraged and will use the month out of action to prepare for upcoming competitions such as the Desafio Ruta 40, amongst others. Branch is currently leading the World Rally Raid Championship with 61 points. Lydia Poloko with more.
The 37-year-old Branch started the 2024 season on a high note, making history by securing a podium finish for the first time at the Dakar Rally in January, where he finished second, as well as finishing second in the bikes category before finishing 4th overall, among other achievements. The Monster Energy Honda rider is currently leading the World Rally Raid Championship standings with 61 points, with a 21 points advantage over second-placed Van Beveren of France, who is on 40 points.
It's been a really amazing season so far for me, starting off with the Dakar Rally, finishing second, going to Abu Dhabi and finishing second there as well. And then, Portugal now was probably the hardest one of the whole series, and I finished 7th. And yeah, it was a good race, but I made a couple of mistakes and we had a couple of crashes, and it wasn't as easy, not the terrain I'm used to, not the desert I'm used to, but we made it work, and we're still leading the World Championship, which is the biggest thing for us, and 2 more rounds to go. And Portugal, unfortunately, I had a crash and I hit the bottom of my throat, which put a big dent in our charge for the championship and obviously for the race win. It's not easy to ride those races fit and healthy, and when you have an injury and a small issue, but we needed to get to the finish line, and I needed to get as many points as I could, and I'm feeling much better now.
The Kalahari Ferrari, as he is affectionately known, says though he finished 7th at the just-ended Rally Raid in Portugal, he will not drop his head as he prepares for the upcoming competitions.
Yeah, I've got a couple of training trips in Namibia. We're always working to get the bike better, especially for Dakar 2025. And we got a trip to Namibia in the next 2 weeks just to go and do a bit of training and testing with the bike. And we're going up to Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe to do a race that helps with the wildlife conservation and just giving back a little bit. And then, we've got Morocco at the end of the year, which is the final race for the World Championship and a really big preparation race for us for Dakar. If you can win Morocco, then there's a good chance you can win Dakar. So we're just going to go there, give it our best, and we're just going to try keep it on 2 wheels. As you can see with Portugal, going from 2nd to 7th is a big drop. So we've got to make sure that we stay healthy, no crashes, and keep the bike together. It's a big thing. We still got about 10,000 kilometers to go before the end of the year. So looking forward to those and feeling really good at the moment.
Branch is now left with 2 more races. There is a Desafio Ruta 40 in Argentina, as well as the Rally du Maroc in October, before the end of the rally year. Kalahari Ferrari will also be using these competitions to prepare for the Dakar Rally 2025. Lydia Poloko, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
Police A Darts Club defeated Millennium Darts Club 36-21 in a Botswana Darts Association League game played at SSG yesterday.
Police A started well in the team game of 501 best of one round robin, taking a 21-15 lead in the opening round. They continue with their impressive display in the doubles game, having the best of the all with a 6-0 win. Despite the impressive form, Police fell short in the last round as they became complacent, giving Millennium an opportunity to catch up. They, however, got their mojo back to force a Navy 9-6 win.
According to my expectation, knowing and understanding how strong is my team, but the performance was a bit low today, even though they won. But I trust they could have done much better than that.
The match was a Tilagumpiano, only Bukiti. Total of Brandon, police came well team Zeditata. Elore Tata Lemoliking in Zela dominate the season Zedhamara was a hitile. Mela Kabukshananga or Alakare, Game Yarona, Kodi singing, Rokono Kobokanya, Din Kamu singing, Honaleko Kodi doubling. Doubles are not the Samkila Bukwa, Hela Tata Gawari, Harakona Kukwanya, Hale pointing, Hela Modi doubling. Well, or last one Tata or Rebu, Rebecca, Modi doubling, combination are not double, Rika, Bonagore, Reseka Sakaya, Rebaka Katselinsinga.
Tota semo se re le motion ka gona le team ya BDF e leng gore nako le nako e nna re tswa number 2 ya yone. Maikelo a rona ngwaga o ga re batle gore ba ye go bona position 1 tota e batla ke rona ngwaga o. Ene se re duma sa tere batla go se tsholetsa ga re batle go lusela le game e pe wa.
The win means Police remain undefeated in this year's league competition. Khomzo Sefako, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
In other news, it was all smash for Team Botswana today at the Cape Kano Classic in Kenya as local 400-meter sensation Bayapondori stormed to a world-leading time of 44.10 seconds, which was also his personal best. Ndori, who finished in first, improved from his previous PB of 44.61. Lungo's coach also registered a new PB of 44.54 from 44.82, finishing in third place. Meanwhile, another local runner, Tumo Stagato Van Wyk, finished sixth with a time of 46.13 seconds. In the 200-meter race, Lizile Taboho settled for second behind USS Lindsay to register a season's best time of 19.71 seconds. In the women's 400-meter race, Obaken Kamberuka and Khalifelo Morocco finished fourth and seventh in respective times of 52.85 seconds and 53.85 seconds. In the women's 800-meter, Ratilio Noe registered her second fastest time of 2.00.56 seconds, finishing her race on sixth position. And now Gaborone United edged out Township Rollers 2-0 in the Gaborone Derby to get all the bragging rights in the Gaborone Derby. GU clapped all the 3 points courtesy of Malaudi Talefang. 12 minutes superb strike and Mpokas on his late goal. Let's see the highlights.
Abano sayalo yantla Molaudi Talefang ya le sekhwama mo go Phatola khatsha ga go hae monate bona counter 3 against 1 Slicer tsotsi le nyamu le Slicer bona Slicer tsotsi Mpokhaswane wa go dira poster wa gijima Remoloi Wakijima Ponsamoloi. Wash!
We failed to perform. In fact, not performing, to score. We were scored early in first half. We considered late in second half. We are bound to lose. We are bound to lose. They had a good game. They played well as well. Fine. Let them get the 3 points and go. We will go back and readjust.
Ritumeletse maduo, ritumeletse motshameko. Ritumeletse performance ya rona re dirile se ne re tshwantse re se dire le go fenya motshameko. It's something that we normally work on. We try to press And even when we lose the ball, we try to counter press. That's what we work on. We worked on and we did that, and then we had a turnover there, and then it was a pass. It was a ball through to him, and then he finished very well.
Lastly, BDF 11 head coach Nelson Setswani says they continue to work as hard systems on Sunday. Setswani said this attitude can help resurrect the 2023-2024 season and finish in a better position. Ryan Kangonyani.
Setswani said despite the 2-1 loss against Joining Galaxy midweek, preparations for the system game have been on point as they plan to get back to winning ways.
As long as right or on a Sunday, it's very, very important. Most of that in the recently. So we started immediately after the game, Wednesday, we had to come in. Responding to it's only that now, when you come to the last product, is not an area of hope. But you can see the moral of one hella. If you are to die, I don't think we will ever re-nail until. And I really hope to now.
He further stated that they have been working on bettering their form and precision in front of goals as games and points are won through goals scored.
One of the exercises, the scoring exercise. We're always dealing with this on a daily basis. We know somewhere we'll get there. Obviously, there's pressure. You can't, how Tamolikin we similar, you always look at being the best or probably win a league. So if you see yourself struggling, it's pressure in itself. So we are having and we are feeling it, yes, but
even though ba ngwana ba le ko tlaseng re le ka go ba motivate nyana gore se garatsenya ditlhogo fona santsana gona le nako entse go ya di games ke ra di games di setseng santsana di le dintsi.
BDF 11 go into Sunday's encounter with 23 points collected from 21 games, having won 5, drawn 9 and losing 7 matches. The Kamo boys have managed to score 14 goals and conceded 17, which leaves them with a goal difference of -3. Ryan Kangonyani, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
From Botswana Tonight Sports Desk, that was all we had for you this hour until we meet again tomorrow, same time. Now back to Olibile to give us the back hats.
Thank you so much. That was a good delivery. Let's meet again tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Good night.
And before we wrap it up, let's take a reminder of our top stories. The Chema Chema Fund said to ensure citizens play a meaningful role in driving the economy. National Anti-Drug Campaign launched. Baya Pondori registers a world lead after winning the 400-meter race at the Cape Keno Classic 2024. And that is all that we had for you this evening. Stay with us. Weather's up next. I'm going to say my goodbyes on the other side.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's weather forecast brought to you by Lydia Wadokomo. Looking at the Kanasata image, it's currently showing clear skies over the entire country. Tomorrow, expecting patches of clouds over Hansi, Kalahari, southern, southeast, Katling, and Kwening. Also expecting clear skies. In the morning, we're expecting warm temperatures over Ngamil and Chobe and Central District between 16 and 19 degrees Celsius. Also expecting mild temperatures ranging between 12 and 15 degrees Celsius. In the afternoon, we're expecting hot temperatures over Ngamil and Chobe, Central and Northeast, ranging between 33 and 35 degrees Celsius. Also expecting warm temperatures between 28 and 32 degrees Celsius. As for the Southern region, showers are expected over Port Elizabeth with 26 degrees Celsius. Clear skies are expected over Maseru and Manzini with 28 degrees Celsius over Manzini and 24 degrees Celsius over Maseru. Antananarivo, Harare, and Lusaka expecting clear skies with 27 degrees Celsius over Harare, and Antananarivo over Lusaka expecting 28 degrees Celsius. Partly cloud conditions expected over Beira with 28 degrees Celsius. Dar es Salaam and Kinshasa expecting thunderstorms with 33 degrees Celsius over Kinshasa and 26 degrees Celsius over Dar es Salaam. Clear skies expected over Blantyre with 25 degrees Celsius. That's the weather forecast. Good night.
Tota wa go ramile. I think se tona ko goreng e rile o simolla le ha batepolo ba ba buile gore nyame ke wa go aluba re ne re sa solohela re tla nna le lentseng jang ka goreng according to ka gore ke na le direkote tsa pula ke ne ke bona gore mme ka